What is going on, everybody? This is Jonathan Ferrell, and I'm back with another video. Today, I want to show you guys how you can build a form with what is called conditional logic, or a survey with what is called conditional logic. So, I just finished out this custom build for this team. They're working on specifically DSCR loans, but they also do regular mortgage loans as well. And what they wanted to do was they wanted to have a survey that would qualify their clients, but not only that, depending on how the client answered, that would trigger a drip campaign. So I ended up creating a funnel for them, and then we ended up doing what I wanted to cover in this video, which is creating what's called the conditional logic survey. So just to give you an idea of what conditional logic means is, let's say for instance, the client answers if they're purchasing a home, that will take them to the purchase section. Whereas if the client says if they're refinancing a home, that takes them to the part that talks about the refinance. So this is all one survey, and depending on how the client answers, that will put them in the appropriate drip campaign. Okay, so what we do is we navigate to the survey section right here. And on the survey section, you will see that I have built out a number of different slides for them. And then depending on what their conversational path is or how they answer the question, that's going to take them to each particular slide. So you'll see that there's a number of different slides that are inside of the system, and we want to set up conditional logic. So for instance, like what we were talking about, if they answer, I'm looking to purchase a home, we would like to take them to the next purchase slide. If they answer, I'm refinancing a home, we want to take them to the next refinance slide. So I used radio buttons in here, and you'll see that I added some CSS code in order to match their color scheme for their logo. But on this, I created these different logic trees. And so on this right hand side, you'll see that whenever we create a custom field and add the radio field, and we select it on this right hand side, we can actually have them go to a specific question. So in this case, are you currently under contract, which would be our next slide, or slide 3 right here. If they answer the refinance question, that takes them to this refinance question right over here. Okay, and so on and so forth. So basically, I sat down with the client, I mapped out their whole process and asked them, okay, where would you like for this next phase to go? And then we ended up building out these different slides based on how the client would be coming through. And you'll see right here, if they answer on these refinance questions, we take them to slide 11. Okay. So again, what you can do is you can build these logic trees based on how the client answers the question. So are you currently under contract? If the answer is yes, we ask them, what is your close of escrow date? If they answer no, we're going to skip this question because it is no longer relevant to them. And so by doing these questions, you can actually have them basically create these logic trees, and you can have your survey follow along and map out these appropriate sections right over here. Okay. So as you can kind of go through the process, you'll see that you can create a number of different slides based on the questions and answers. But the most important thing is when they submit this form, what happens? And so what we ended up doing was we created a survey submission, and I built them a number of different lead generation campaigns based on the type of product that they are servicing. So you'll see right here that we have the survey being submitted, and then I created these different conditions that follows the logic section based on how the client answers the question. So in this case, this would be an if-else sequence that we would build, and I would follow the lines. Are you purchasing? Yes, I'm purchasing. Or are you refinancing? I'm refinancing. Those two questions, then I was able to create these different trees based on how they answer. And then I selected another condition, which was what type of purchase are you going through? So a primary purchase, or a hard money purchase, or a ground up purchase. That allowed for us to add them to the particular workflow that we built specifically for the type of transaction that they are coming through. So instead of building like one workflow with one survey submission, we are able to build multiple workflows, create different trees based around what it was that the client needed, and then add them to the particular workflows, the appropriate workflows based on how they answered the question. So again, this allows for us to create some really nice logic questions, have them answer these questions, have them go through the process, and then we can add them to the appropriate campaign by only having to use one survey versus having to build multiple surveys over and over and over again. Okay. So I hope this helps. This was quite a bit of a build from a high level perspective. Took roughly, I want to say, 2 hours of mapping the logic, nothing too crazy. And then we had the campaigns that we had put together for them. So all in all, between the funnel, the client build, and the mapping, this was about a 20 to 30 hour build out, which client was happy to pay us to complete, so that way we can get that completed for them. So again, you guys can do some crazy stuff with GoHighLevel. You could build funnels, you could build surveys with logic, and you could build multiple drip campaigns. This is the all-in-one system, and like I said, there's a lot of different ways that you guys can utilize it. So hopefully you guys found value in this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.